gun or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is,
I think no one will ask me the ID. Come on, I look much older than 21. So this is not a problem for me.
don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that, and don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they...
How true is this? What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to what not to do when visiting the USA. This will be an interesting one, specific because I want to visit America so bad. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like, thank you so much, my friend. This is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. I love his channel. Give him some love. That said, let's play it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S.
It's beautiful.
And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S., because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a...
Wait a second. Okay, I know you guys like your personal space, but don't worry. I mean, that would be weird. I arrive in America, touch you. No, I mean, sorry. I mean, okay, makes sense. I know you guys love personal space, but you don't have to worry with this with me.
Bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't...
But to be honest, I think, okay, this is a bit confusing in one end, because, I mean, if you are friends, if I have an American friend, it's fine to give him a hug, right? This is more for people that you do not know that well, I'm assuming. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but interesting stuff.
What I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff.
You guys are probably aware, but public transportation is a huge thing in Europe. I don't use it that much. I like my own car, you know what I mean? But so I think I will adapt well to America. But yeah, this is a huge thing here. And I guess in America is something that you guys do not put a lot of money into, right? So makes kind of sense.
To get all over the place, because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it will take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, in middle-sized cities,
more difficult.
The public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you.
If I go to America, I have two options of a car that I will accept renting. One, Ford Mustang. Yeah, I would love to drive that. Number two, by the way, Mustang is crazy expensive here. Number two, I don't know the model, to be honest, but some type of Ford pickup. I would love also to drive one of those. What do you guys think is better, the Mustang or the pickup to have a nice time in America? Probably the Mustang takes a lot of gas, I'm assuming, no?
That is, don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, you know, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I'm going to do, you know, from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to top.
Lisbon to Paris? No chance. But I love the fact that you didn't mention Lisbon there. We are not aware in Portuguese. Not Russian. I know.
And then head down to Sofia. No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude.
You know, when I started reacting to this type of stuff, I thought, you know what? I know how I will approach my experience in America. I go to Texas. On the morning, I drive to California. I come back to Texas and at night I go to Florida. That's fine. Yeah, great idea. You need like 10 days to do all of that. But I'm joking a bit, but yeah, the distance in America is, it's crazy.
You got 2 weeks, you're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. Yeah. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I would literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours.
That sounds insane to me, to be honest with you, my friends, but I love it.
We start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay?
Okay.
Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, it's...
Yeah, this is something we have, like he's explaining, the VAT, but is already priced in. Not all the time, but I would say 90%, 95% of the time.
$1 or €1. I only pay €1. In the US, it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere.
If you are curious, probably not, but no, I have to say it. In Portugal, most things are 23%, but again, when you see the price, that's already priced in. And some stuff that is things that are really necessary for us as humans, like food, tends to be 6%. But there is different rules there. But think about 23%, and some things will be a bit cheaper. In America, I'm actually not sure. It's like what, 10%, 15, 20? I know it's quite different from state to state, but maybe there is an average. I'm not sure.
Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. Okay. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20%.
15 to 20%, okay. I thought it was 10%, and you guys told, no, that's low. Okay, sorry. But, okay, 15 to 20%. 15, I assume, if you thought it was okay. 20% if you thought, okay, this guy really, really put a lot of effort on delivering the food. Okay.
At a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like...
The wait staff when someone Hulk Hogan, that's so nice.
So affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in...
Oh, that looks so good. What is that? Maybe catfish? I'm not sure, but it looks really good.
Tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that, but they don't. Okay, so tipping is something we do here in the U.S. So do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink.
Oh, in a bar? Okay, this one maybe I saw this already and I don't remember. But okay. On a oh, that's okay.
So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in
I'm
the
going
US.
to love that.
Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the US, the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the US. If you're smoking cigarettes,
okay, this is huge. I don't smoke, by the way, but this is huge here. A lot of people smoke cigarettes. This is something that Americans kind of did very well. Yeah, you guys don't have a lot of people smoking this type of stuff. Other stuff, let's not talk about. But this type of stuff, I wonder why, actually.
In the US, people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally...
And you kind of are, if you really think about it, because that stuff is nasty.
Verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke...
So I'm no doctor, but I think marijuana is... I mean, I'm not saying it's better, but cigarettes are actually worse, right? So kind of makes sense.
Make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21 or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is,
I think no one will ask me the ID. Come on, I look much older than 21. So this is not a problem for me.
Don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they...
How true is this? How true is this, my friend? Do you guys think there is any chance someone even ask me for ID to buy alcohol? Nah, I don't believe it. Maybe. I don't know.
Get in trouble and get fined, so don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches.
To be honest, this is one of the things I like the least about America, because it's so confusing to me, and I have to learn a completely different systems actually, not just one. I mean, I respect it's your country, but it's a pain in the ass.
Feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put
actually, let's see it. 1 gallon is almost 4 liters. 1 foot, 30. Okay, 1 yard. Oh, 0.9. Why not 1? 1 mile, 161, 1 pound. Okay. So the pound I was more or less aware. The mile, for some reason, I also was aware. 12 ounces. Okay, this one, no chance. Okay.
A conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people...
This is kind of sad because I talk about this on my channel. Maybe I shouldn't. But I talk with all the respect, and it's kind of difficult to learn about America and do not interact with those two topics, you know what I mean? Specific politics, I guess you can avoid. Maybe not. But the gun control, I even reacted to gun videos. So
on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those.
But I'm going to say one thing. He is right on this. The most controversial videos I had, they probably have one of those two topics. And sometimes when I react to this type of stuff that I'm reacting right now, 99.999% of the people is tremendous, and you are probably one of those people. But if I say something about Trump or Biden, sometimes I even crack a joke here and there. Yeah, you can see that both sides they can get a bit mad at me. Same goes with guns, but I feel like politics is even worse. To be honest.
Topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now.
But let me say one thing, because I think it's very important to be fair with all the viewers. Is this happens in other countries? Don't think maybe in America it could be a bit worse. Maybe, I'm not sure. But even here, if you talk about certain politicians that have a huge following, you are in complicated waters. You know what I mean? So this is not unique. The gun stuff, yeah, this is not something that we talk because we don't have guns, basically.
Now, my next note for you is don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S.
Yeah, to be honest, saying you are typical American is really stupid, because someone from Alabama is really different than someone from Texas or someone from Florida, Maine. And that's one of the most beautiful things about America, in my opinion, is diversity. I really love that.
The U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. Beautiful. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff.
I feel like sometimes I see difference inside of the state. Certain regions of a specific state, they are very different. It's actually crazy. Like I said, I love this, but it's mind blown.
So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too. Not just fat guys like me.
Or
my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions, because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S., because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. There's a lot of different culture here.
I love a lot of that. I know there is a lot of different cultures in America, and there is a lot of culture in general, you know what I mean? But the thing that, and you may not agree with me on this one, maybe this is a bit more niche, what I'm about to say, but what fascinates me in terms of culture, in terms of history, I'm not even sure if this applies in culture, but whatever, is the Native Americans. I find that topic really fascinating. Would you guys agree that's a fascinating topic, or you guys do not care about that at all? I would love to react to more videos about Native Americans, actually.
Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. You have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true, because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums, like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in L.A. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that.
Another thing, my friends, that I also find fascinating about America is I really like the American Revolution, but the side of history that really captivates me in America is the American Civil War. That, and because I think Abraham Lincoln is such a character, legendary president, right? There is museums about that for sure, right, in America. If you guys know any museums about the Civil War, leave me a comment with the state and if you guys think it's worth it to visit, because I thought it was really fascinating, the battle of the South versus the North. I know it's a sensitive topic, but just looking at history, I find it quite fascinating. Yeah.
Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good.
This was good. Oi, tudo bem? Tudo bem. E contigo? This was the part that you guys are not understanding what I'm saying, right? But, yeah. Vamos continuar.
It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and, oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, good. More. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are
it's really
great.
Good.
So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. Not gonna lie. I mean, I cannot afford a crazy bill in America. You know what I mean? But probably insurance is a smart move. Yeah.
Something back, because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive. Okay, so make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries, when I told them the U.S. has 50 states, and they said no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look. Don't think the U.S. has...
Oh, this is counting Puerto Rico, right, and stuff. Okay.
52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So...
No, I thought it was 50, but I assume he's putting some islands, right?
Those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out.
My don't I never visit the U.S., but I would say just respect the people there, because they are receiving you. Be nice to them, and probably they will be nice to you.
about travelers heading to the US, just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. Okay. And we really like helping travelers with honest travel advice. So if you like this video, do click that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and we put new travel videos out every Wednesday and Saturday to help great travelers just like you. So I'll say bye from Connecticut and have a great time in the US, because don't worry, you will. It's a fantastic place.
Oh, this was fantastic.
Yes, because don't worry.
This was fantastic, my friends. I really ended up enjoying this one. Walter's World. This channel is tremendous. Do you guys agree with that? I don't know. I really enjoyed this one. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here. And that's it.